Yeah. But let's move on from the co-main event to now the main event of the
Yeah,
evening for UFC 265. We got the men's interim heavyweight championship matchup between Derrick Lewis, who's going up against Ciryl Gane. Derrick Lewis comes in at 25-7, is the plus 280 underdog. And then he's going up against Ciryl Gane, of course, who is 9-0 as the minus 360 favorite. What do you see in this matchup?
I see that we've been talking about Ciryl Gane. I feel like for all 9 fights.
Yes.
I think he might be the most talked about fighter on our preview show. But with this is a very good matchup. Derek Lewis has been on a roll lately with 4 straight wins. His game plan hasn't changed as he's looking for the knockout with the boxing approach, but his game is constantly evolving as he's working on improving his wrestling and takedowns and his takedown defense. But he's going up against Ciryl Gane, who doesn't lose and hasn't lost. Usually Lewis is at the advantage with his stand-up, but Gane's boxing is good, and the way he uses his strikes to keep distance is even better. This will pose a big problem for Derek Lewis, in my opinion. Lewis is fighting in the front of the home crowd, which I think will give him the boost, but which would definitely not, that was an understatement. This will definitely give him the boost. You know what I mean? This is his home. But I think Gane is going to do just enough to get the win by decision. Every time that I think that the striker, the knockout artist, is going to get the win over Ciryl Gane, like with the Rosenstrike matchup, it didn't go the way that I thought, right? And then I look at Derek Lewis when I think that he's like completely the underdog, like he was with Francis. It goes with the direction of that last fight. I don't expect this fight to be fireworks. I think that we're going to see two very calculated fighters and two very cautious fighters in this, kind of like the Derrick and Francis fight, and very much like the Gane and Rosenstrike fight. So I think this goes all 5 rounds, and I think Gane's cardio is worlds better than Derek Lewis's because he's, again, trying to work on improving that. So I think Gane's going to stay fresh and do just enough to get it in the judge's favor.
Yeah, first we got Gon. He has very good distance management and footwork. His speed and head movement are exceptional. Kicking game is refined and one of the best in the division. He has a Muay Thai background and isn't afraid to use his knees and elbows in the clinch. Against southpaws, he likes to use the body kick. His stiff jab is his favorite strike. He's been working to mix in the jiu-jitsu into his game, and he has one of the best cardios in the division. He basically moves like a featherweight
Hmm.
at a heavyweight with a heavyweight body. Then you got Derek Lewis, who does not have the best footwork. He throws big right hand shots and goes for the counter one and twos. He throws a lower calf kick and has improved his nutrition and gas tank. He has really good chin and KO power. He tends to pour in low volume but baits his opponents in the bad situations by playing possum. He's weak against kicks to his lead leg. He is aggressive and has a right hand and jab he uses now more than often than he has before. This is a matchup that, to be, it's clear cut. It's going to be whether Derek Lewis can connect on that KO shot or not. And I think at the end of the day, he's not going to be able to. Sirgan is the type of guy that can limit you with his constant movement in and out of the pocket. This is basically him versus Rosenstruck again, but Rosenstruck was less tentative. You're going to see Derek Lewis, like we said, play possum, but I think Gane's going to know what to do. And he's going to kind of use that against them when he feels like Lewis is going to come at him. He's going to take him down, and that's when he's going to start using his wrestling, which he hasn't used in the past as much because he hasn't had to. He plays distance management most of the time with the leg kicks, the kickboxing, the ins and outs with his boxing. He has a lot to him, and I think he's going to be able to wear out Derek Lewis, take him down, and then win by unanimous decision pretty easily.
Yeah, I echo those thoughts, man. It's a great matchup on paper, but I think once it gets into those late rounds, it's going to be tough waters for Derek Lewis. And I love Derek Lewis as a fighter. I want to
Yeah,
hear, his post-fight speech when he wins the title. Like, I just want to hear something, but I don't think he gets this nod, unfortunately. But I wouldn't be. Listen, I never want to count Derek Lewis out and think that he's gonna be dominated. he has one punch knockout ability, and he could land a really solid shot in this one. And this could go one round. You know what I mean? Gane
Yeah.
comes in to overestimating or underestimating, I'm sorry, underestimating Derrick Lewis and just gets clipped with a right and it's game over. But we'll see. Overall, it's a great fight. I think with this, the winner should definitely get Francis. I don't think we wait for Francis and John Jones, and now we have a fake title. You know what I mean? This title, if that's the case, if Francis is fighting Jones in December, then this title means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
The winner of this fight needs to fight Francis, and then the winner of that fight gets Jones.
Yeah, I think they just did that just because they are not sure if they're going to be able to book that fight, and then they
Yeah,
did this knowing like, hey, if we don't know this is going to happen and he's not ready yet, then we got to get an interim title going, just in the short term. Even though people don't like it, but we're going to just have to get it done and going. Plus, it'll garner some money. And just like you said, yes, whenever Derrick Lewis is in a fight, there's always that chance that he knocks somebody out. He has that power. He's the best in the heavyweight division at knocking people out, even over Francis Ngannou and Rosenstruck. That's his game. He was able to do it with Curtis Blades. That's how he won, was him playing possum and waiting to the right moment and hitting Curtis Blades. I just think Ciryl Gane's a guy that we haven't seen in a while. He moves, like we said, he moves like a featherweight, even though he's a heavyweight. And he has all these different backgrounds. And I think he comes in smart. He comes in game plan. It's not the sexiest pick, and he's not the most exciting. He's just the guy that racks up the wins because of what he
yeah.
does. And at the end
He's
of the day,
consistent.
yeah. And at the end of the day, I think he does enough to win because that's what he needs to do, and
Yeah,
that's why he's able to come in on this fight on 2 months' notice and to take it because that fight against Volkov was really exciting,
yeah,
and then he got hit with a lot of leg kicks. But that's it. Like that's all he got hit with was a bunch of leg kicks against a guy that's over 7 foot tall, and
yeah.
he won that fight 4 rounds to 1. So that's a lot to be said about when he could come in and take a lot of fights in a short amount of time in his UFC career.
Yeah, I mean, we've at least covered him 3 times within almost a calendar year. It's an interesting fight. It's a great matchup, but I would like to see the winner of this, whether it's Gane or Lewis, go against Francis. Let's say like November, late October, right there, Fight Island. Give a chance to heavyweight. Everyone shows up for heavyweight championships, so I think that's the perfect place. I wouldn't wait until December because a lot of
I
things can happen in 4 months. Get it
I
as
have a
fast as
feeling,
possible.
yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna be December because I have a
I don't
feeling
like that.
I feel like they always try and put that very big fight at the end by Christmas, right before New Year's. You get everything going. November, I could see November, but with this being like a August fight, that's 3 months. They're
Yeah,
already starting to book all that stuff, and they kind of want to stretch things out until the end of the year. So,
yeah. Is
I
this
may
in your
maybe
opinion, is this a bigger fight than the Colby and Usman fight?
no, I don't think it
No.
is because I think there's that background with
Yeah.
Usman and Colby hating each other. There's that it's already fresh. This is just like, oh, this is good on paper because these two fighters are good. I
No, I
think
mean the winner of this versus Francis. I'm sorry, I worded that wrong.
oh, okay. I think yes and no because with Gan, I'll say why because
I go.
Gan and Nagano, they were former partners at
Yeah.
training, and now to make it very good. But then there's also Lewis and Nagano who fought already in one of the most boring fights. So it's kind of like yes and no. It depends on the matchup and how they build it. But we already know Usman and Colby, you don't got to build that anymore. That's
Not at all.
already built and that's already fresh, and it's been building again for another year without the UFC.
Yeah. You know what? And that's booked for November, correct?
Yes, November
And
6th.
and Amanda and Juliana is also booked for November, if I'm not
Uh,
mistaken.
I believe it's in November. I think they already have a co-main event for the Usman. Yeah, the co-main event for Usman Colby is Michael Chandler and Justin Gagey. That's
Oh,
the co-main, and Gagey and
yeah.
Usman are training partners.
That is going to be fireworks. I can't. I kind of miss out on the review show with you and Miles where you guys talk about the news, because that you send it to me, but it's I can't wait for that fight. So you know what? More realistically, if we're gonna have if we have, let's say, Amanda and Julian in November, I don't think it's November. I think it might actually be September or October. But either way, if we have a title shot like that, Colby and Usman, I don't think that the heavyweight title shot is, or title matchup is an under or a co-main slot. I think that's a main event slot. So December is more realistically.
Yeah, definitely, because they're always trying to fluctuate the titles, and then I know with them doing a main event of Max Holloway and Yair Rodriguez
So
for
good.
middle to late November, that just makes more logical a choice to have in December.
Yeah, November is going to be the best month for fights. It's going to be
Hmm
so good. I absolutely cannot wait for November.
Especially even the end of October, October 30th, they got a stacked card
Yeah,
on October 30th with the two title fights, and it's going to be free on ABC. So
I love it.
because they already said it's going to be on Fight Island, they're televising it, and it's going to be early morning into afternoon because they want to do it Abu Dhabi
Yeah,
prime time. So that's going
yeah,
to make it even better because you can watch the fight, catch all these great fights for free on ABC, and then you still got. By the time it's done, it'll be dinner time here.
yeah.
So
Get ready for some Halloween parties. Get pumped. I'm ready.
exactly.